The mic is live, the youth are speaking. This is Youth Plug, where hustle meets opportunity. From side gigs to startups, from code to courage. We plug in the next generation to jobs, skills, and power. Youth Plug, Africa youth economy switched on. If unemployment is a crisis, now what? We are moving from talk to action. Career Indaba Impact Week, the Boardroom Takeover. A 5-day live broadcast activation from 27 to 31 October 2025, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Hosted by Career Indaba board members leading Africa's biggest conversations on employment, skills, youth empowerment, and inclusive growth. Bring a pledge, a placement, or a partnership. Catch us live on careerindaba.org and all our social media platforms. Career Indaba, the voice of Africa's labor market. Future-proofing skills for economic growth. Career Indaba Expo and Bootcamp. 15th to 16th of May 2026 is Africa's boldest sector-aligned and solution-driven career development event designed to bridge the skills gap, unlock real unemployment pathways, and future-proof talent across over 20 industries. From the boardrooms of Sandton to the villages of rural South Africa, we are pulling the entire country into one decisive moment to tackle unemployment, close the skills gap, and future-proof our workforce.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Youth Plug. It's Dr. Medjibinsia here coming from you live from Switzerland. I am the board member of a Career Indaba. Career Indaba is a multimedia platform dedicated to resolving the unemployment crisis and the unemployment for youth in Africa, starting from South Africa. As you know, we are having the Board Plug Week this week. I'm here to round it off with a couple of guests, starting with Mr. Octavius Phukubye from the Mr. Price Foundation. Really happy to have him here. Give us some insights into what he does, especially since the Price Foundation is well known in South Africa. That's one of the premier foundations that we know of, and I know of as number one. And the storied work that you've done there is amazing. Would like to learn a little bit about yourself, Octavius. How did you start? And what are you doing currently? So welcome to the show. Thank you so much for lending time to us. I'm really glad to have you here.
Yeah, no, thanks so much, Benjamin, and thank you to your team for inviting us to come and share, but also make ourselves available to learn as much as we possibly can to really try and get as many young people on the continent, starting in South Africa, get jobs, get opportunities, build small businesses, and successes in their lives.
Amazing. Maybe if you give us a little bit of insight about yourself, because you have an amazing background, right? You didn't start off conventionally. You started off as well in a very unconventional way, and you have a long storied history in South Africa, outside of South Africa as well. How did your career grow, and how is that a possible avenue for some of the youth of today? Because the past and the future, the past and the current, they don't really match each other anymore.
Look, I mean, my career path has been a mix of career kind of spaces, and it has never been like very linear. I studied accounting at a public university, studying accounting, but I didn't proceed to go into the chartered accounting or professional accounting path. Although I did participate in a work readiness program as part of the accounting profession very early as part of my growth, but immediately after graduating in university. So at that point, I think a lot of SETAs, what we call SETAs in the country, we're really being set up across multiple sectors. So in the finance and an accounting space, in mining, in agriculture, we're being set up as an avenue to allow young people to get what's an important part of work experience, work readiness, so that when they get into the professions, they can thrive. So I did that for about 6 months, getting a stipend. So I definitely encourage young people to take advantage of that. So that was my first kind of real entry into the workspace. But I pivoted. I went into management consulting.
Yes, with
Completely,
Accenture, right?
yeah, with Accenture.
Amazing.
And I was more excited about just building strategies for companies, using finance as a base for which you can partner with clients and build out, maybe in hindsight, yes, but at the time I think what prompted me, or what I was more interested in, was, I think, the management consulting space was fairly unknown for most finance
Yes.
professionals. So it was fairly unknown, and I was super curious. How do people in management consulting work? Like, so do you develop products, services, and you go and work with the clients? So I went in there, and I started off in business intelligence.
Mhm.
Business intelligence, working with clients, really collaborating with clients to help them solve some of their big challenges in their businesses for them to grow. And I was lucky that as part of that program, it was a graduate placement program. So competing for that, and got into it, very lucky, from University of Limpopo, going on to join Accenture, which opened up a lot of opportunities for
Yeah.
me. A lot of opportunities. I mean, after 5 years though, working in resources, doing finance strategies, project management, doing finance processes improvements with multiple clients in banking, in retail, in energy. I changed my career then. I also kind of felt I need something more tangible,
Yeah.
that can speak to where we are as a country, direct impact in the society that we are in. So I was super passionate about economic transformation and social justice, because even when I was in Accenture, I was part of a forum that was saying we need to evolve how we do performance reviews for mostly underrepresented racial groups that come from poorer backgrounds but are now in the Accenture ecosystem. So how do we support them?
Yes.
How do we build an infrastructure that enables them to thrive, because they are from poorer backgrounds, poorer universities, etc. And so that became my thing, the social justice, socio-economic transformation. And for my sins, I think I was in Chicago doing additional training in 2011, and somebody that I used to work with at Accenture, who knew, it was a mentor who knew my passion, had already now gone into the FMCG space, and called and said, hey, I know you're like very passionate about this kind of things. I'm at this place now. At the time, it was SAB Miller, before the acquisition by AB InBev.
Yeah.
And I took the chance. So I completely, again, took a complete, and it was very scary. I mean, it was very scary because I'd never been in commerce and industry. So I'd always been on the advisory side,
Yeah.
advising client. And one of the things that also was missing for me was, it's great to advise, but it would be nice to actually be accountable for the things that you have, conceptualized, or strategies that you have proposed, innovation that you have built out, new products, and see them through, implement them, and come back and say, is it working, is it not working? So I left consulting. I went into commerce and industry, and I think that's why I enjoyed my time really working with entrepreneurs at SAB. It was a fantastic organization, and gave an opportunity for us to work with directly young people, work with entrepreneurs, small businesses, as well, across multiple sectors. And that was fantastic for 4 or 5 years as well. Really just traveling the rest of the country and just doing work and partnering with organizations. So yeah, that was. I mean, the bulk of my time was at SAB. What is it? Accenture and SAB. Again, completely different spaces. But what I take from all those is that you've got to know your why. You've got to understand your why.
Yeah.
You've got to have your why. But I know sometimes when you don't have opportunities, you don't have a job, you're unemployed, just got a degree or diploma. You also have to be opportunistic, right?
Yes.
To get in, and then when you're in, you can kind of start, looking at what is available for you, practically speaking. But you build out your why, you build and improve on your thesis, the thing that drives you and informs the sort of skills you want to acquire over time, the sort of knowledge you want to acquire over time, and being bold around what are the things you want to experience. So when I left SAB, I had a couple of months in the banking sector, but I was privileged to also be given an opportunity to go and stay and learn in Michigan, right? Because of the conviction to say, look, we are going into a new frontier. Do we know everything that we need to know? Do we have everything that we need to have around how to support entrepreneurs, how to support innovators, how to support or finance, emerging businesses in multiple sectors? So that's what I took that time. I took a risk. Also went to stay in the US for a couple of close to a year, I think, yeah, and then came back with a lot of knowledge and a lot of skill and brought it back to again help us improve in the design, firstly, of the sort of investments we need to make in enabling more young people and empowering more young people, empowering entrepreneurs, as it were, young and old, as it were, across sectors. So that's a little bit brief of my background. Fast forward, after tying out, I've also started a business myself, started it and sold it off for a small amount of money. And then I found myself at Mr. Price Foundation by virtue of all the things I've done in the past. And it was a perfect match.
Yeah, and it's amazing, it's so fantastic that you're now with the Price Foundation, because the breadth and depth of knowledge and expertise that you bring to the foundation, really helps to expand the cause. Yeah, it's just a great match. I mean, could you maybe tell us a little bit more what the Mr. Price Foundation is for the first time listeners? What is Mr. Price Foundation? Because I mean, obviously you and I know what it is, but what is it for first time listeners?
Yeah. Do you know what is interesting, Ben, is a lot of people, when I joined Mr. Price Group, I did not know, actually, to be honest with you, I did not know that Mr. Price Group, one of the largest clothing retailers in the country, had a foundation. So I didn't know. So I discovered this. I said, okay, so you guys have got a foundation. And I realized actually they've been having a foundation since 2005. I said, so many years, So I joined, and after joining, I realized actually we've been doing an enormous amount of work working with young people in skills development, in education, supporting primary schools, in poorer communities and in townships and rural areas. We've been working with township entrepreneurs as part of our entrepreneurship, strategic theme. So now, after 2 years or so, we're clear in what we do. What we do is we really just exist to empower young people. We empower young people through three things. One, skills development that is demand-led. So we don't just train for the sake of training. We partner with industry and say, industry, what are your skill requirements and skill gaps between now and going forward? So we plan and pre-train for the future.
Exactly.
And say, how do we then enable young people and break the barriers of entering these sectors? Retail is very broad. It's not just at customer facing. When you have clothes like this, who made them? So we work and partner with young people to give them the demand-led skills based on the sectors across the retail value chain. We're now entering into other sectors like BPOs, as well as tourism and agriculture. We also do a second thing, very important and very excited about, is entrepreneurship. We think young people are not one group where young people, all they want is just jobs. We believe there are also other young people who have the knowledge, the appetite, the interest, the capacity to build small businesses in their communities, for them to go and create amazing products and service the markets that they are in. So we've got exciting programs in entrepreneurship in the entrepreneurship space. Lastly, we also do education. We support here, work with over 20 schools in KZN, but we've also now launched a program to support ECDs, so
Yes.
early childhood development centers. But the way we are supporting them across 3 provinces, we've just started across 3 provinces. We're inviting young people who have got the passion to build sustainable social enterprises in the care economy. We see ECDs or early learning centers or after school programs as care centers. You care about the young people. You want to empower the youth around literacy and numeracy, empower them to pass their grade 11, grade 12, grade 9, or you care that they go on and be admitted at universities and colleges and whatnot. So that program, we're partnering with young people to be social entrepreneurs in that space and build learning hubs in the community. So those 3 things are things that really keep us busy. That's what we do as Mr. Pride Foundation. So we're excited. We are happy to continue to really just champion youth empowerment in the work we do.
Amazing. And together with your career in Indaba, we will look to try and join in forces together. To empower the South African youth. I think our vision here is really not just South Africa. South Africa is one part of the
One
continent. In
part,
the end, we are African. And I think the whole continent deserves a boost up in the global economy, in the global
100%.
exactly. And that's why I think one of the most important things is we would like to organize one time with you an additional session, because obviously we have short time. We have a short time during this session. We have
Sure.
so many guests that were interested to join in, but the Prize Foundation was the most. You yourself, Octavius, was the most
Yeah.
important, one of the most
No, thank
important
you.
guests, and we
Thank
wanted to have you to on the show to showcase the Prize Foundation so that we can get the word out there as well.
Yeah. No, I appreciate
And,
that. I
yeah,
appreciate
and
that.
really thank you.
On the content, just maybe quickly,
Yes, of course.
on the continent, we know we've got a youth dividend, Ben, and everybody
Yes,
appreciates it. And our approach is that it's going to take multiple hands on the deck to be able to, practically move the needle in
exactly.
in capacitating, investing in this asset to take us and move us forward as a region across the entire continent. So we know you can't do that alone, and that's why we are happy to kind of look for ways to partner and increase the probability of us including as many young people, caring young people, empowering young people. Because when we do that and they're empowered, the impact in the community is without question what we
Exactly.
require. It's enormous. So thank you guys. I'd be very keen to explore and see how we can combine our thinking, our ideas, our resources, so that we can get as many young people and also export what works. So if something has worked in South Africa, let's see, can it work in Zambia? Okay, can it work in Angola? Can it work
Exactly.
in or vice versa? Something
Yeah.
has worked in Nigeria. Can we see how it works in Southern Africa, in Zimbabwe, in Botswana, in Lesotho? So we're super keen to see how we can evolve all of those learnings and partner with the likes of yourselves to really invest in the future of this continent.
Exactly. Amazing. Okay, I completely echo your sentiment. I think a concerted effort is needed, not a shotgun effort, and we definitely echo what you say. And
Yeah.
I know that you're a busy man, so thank you again for giving us this time. I really appreciate it. I definitely want to, have a follow-up conversation with you. We love
Yeah.
to have you on the show again.
We'll
Uh,
make it happen.
thank you so
We'll make
much.
it happen. Thank you so much, Ben. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Yes.
Thank you. Thank
Cheers,
you,
Ben.
Octavius.
Bye.
The mic is live. The youth are speaking. This is Youth Plug.